You want to talk sports. You want to talk basketball, football, baseball, wrestling, UFC, boxing. You want to talk sports. You want to talk music. You want to talk hip-hop. Real hip-hop. Classic hip-hop. The history and the culture of hip-hop. And you want to talk candidly. You want to hear the real. You want us to keep it 100. You are in the right place. Welcome to the Candid Corner. Starring your man, Coach Bar, and your man.
Welcome to the Candid Corner. Welcome to the Candid Corner. Welcome to the Candid Corner.
Welcome to the Candid Corner. Your number one spot for hip-hop, classic hip-hop, today's hip-hop. You talk about sports, you talk about Knicks, you talking about 76ers, you talking football, you talking about Giants, you talking Steelers. Your main spot for New York and Pennsylvania sports, baby. Right here. Coach Far, Mr. Lewis, the Candid Corner. Real talk for real listeners. Yeah.
Brought to you by Nat Time Entertainment Media and the good folk over at Off the Ball Network.
Yo, party people. Welcome back, babies. 2021. What's happening?
Four. What up? Season 4, baby. How y'all feeling out there? Happy New Year. First episode of 2021. It's your man, Mr. Lewis, right here. And it's my brother.
It's your brother, Coach Far. DJing on the set. Add a little spice to your life. You know what it is, baby.
Yes.
So real quick, we just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. We got Headline Heat coming up. We got Do It All coming up. It's real nice. It's real spicy. You know what I mean? So real quick, we're going to hit you with a nice little commercial break. You know how we do. And we will be back with more Candid Corner.
Out now. Sears High Waisters. Your pelvis will love them. Now with new armpit sweat pads. Want a stronger, more breathable, nut-huggier fabric? Sears high-waisted pants. Try them out today, only $19.99. You look good with your high-waisted tight pants on, yeah.
Welcome to Headline Heat.
Yeah. Welcome back to another one. We got some Headline Heat for that ass. All right. So before we start, what happened in D.C. at the Capitol was some bullshit.
Indeed.
Bullshit.
Straight up. This Mayo mayhem.
Self-inflicted wounds are the most often hardest to heal. And now, let's get to some other shit. All right. So real quick, man, what we're going to do, we're going to lay down the wonderful wild card predictions. You know what I mean? You got a horse in the race, my horse. We're going to get to what happened to my horse in just a little bit. Right about now, I do want to give a shout out. We fighting right now. The New York Knickerbockers, man. Big shouts to Coach Thibodeau. Bruh, you're doing exactly what I figured you would do when you were hired. You've actually quietly been a cat I've wanted to coach this team for years. And it's really cool because keep it a buck. I know people are trying to do whatever they're doing. But Fizdale had almost the same team last year, and they are performing oodles, harder, better, the whole nine. So, listen, big shout out to Tibbs, big shout out to the Knicks. I know y'all were down 12 at halftime, but y'all were struggling a bit more. Y'all hit a run. I'm hoping, Kevin Knox and them, y'all getting busy right now. Unfortunately, my TV is in the other room, so I can't see any of it. It's killing me. And I don't look on my phone. I don't watch the updates, and I'm not on Twitter right now because I wouldn't be able to do the show.
Hey, I know that's pretty much my exact same point for me. I'm not checking the Sixers give it to the Wizards right now. And it's the same energy I got for Doc Rivers, because he's coaching a phenomenal team this year. They're looking really good. I mean, and we doing our thing. I'm looking forward to another evening of seeing young Sadie play Here We Come on the keys on Twitter. If y'all know the young little teenage shorty, she did a little riff every time we get a victory. Follow her, Sixers fans. If you don't know who she is her name is Sadie. Simple as that. Just type in Sixers Sadie, you'll find her.
Sixers Sadie, big shouts to the building.
Yeah.
Yo, so how was your New Year's, man? How was your holiday? How was your New Year's? We took like 2 weeks off. How you doing, man?
Oh, well, I guess I'll get into a little more of it during my segment later on. But
oh yeah, and Lou's got a new segment, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna see about it soon.
Yeah. But it was restful, I'll say that. How about you, brother?
I tried to let it be restful, but I'm not restful. Nah, but as y'all can see, look at the back. We got the new logo banner. Trust me, this is gonna have his up next week. It's gonna be popping. You know what I mean? We're just trying to expand and grow. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I feel like we're a good show, and it's time to grow. Get that brand going. But other than that, I was working on some show pieces and stuff like that. Family's good, you know what I mean? Blessed. I mean, there's been heavy loss. And right now, during my headline, I want to take this time to say rest in peace to Adolfo Shabadu Quinones. I want to say rest in peace to MF Doom. I want to say rest in peace to Ecstasy. And I actually feel like I'm missing somebody in hip hop who.
So many we lost this past year. I mean, it's understandable if you forget a few, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And also, Eric Jerome Dickey, great writer who literally just passed away the other day, man. I mean, damn.
Yeah, man.
But thank God for basketball.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, you go ahead. 2021, hit it.
I was just saying, I hope 2021 don't have, it's not 2020 the sequel.
Yo, I mean, 2020 got names on it, bro. It's crazy how many people we lost last year.
Yeah.
In a year alone. And I'm not just talking about the COVID victims, but maybe I should be just talking about the COVID victims. But no, everyone that passed, man, it's just too many. I mean, and unfortunately, it was just like, it's not even just people we know of or know. It's, you've lost cousins. You just recently, my condolences, fam. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough time, man, right now. You know what I mean? But that's why we here kicking it live, doing our thing, for the people then. We got to give them some inspiration and take their mind off some things, and we give them some fun. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. That's what that is. So now that we've gotten all of that, we've Kyrie Irving, we've burned our stage.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
That guy. All right. So let's jump into our wild card predictions. We've got 6 games this weekend.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna run them off real quick. I got the Ravens over the Titans.
Okay.
Steelers over the Browns, of course. They got gassed over that last, that final regular season game, but yeah, it ain't gonna happen again. Then I got the Bills over the Colts. Then I got the Bucks over Washington football team, the Seahawks over the Rams, and the Saints over the Bears.
Okay. So you just kind of wrap that up, man. Now I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's your matchup to watch out of all that?
Well, I could be biased and say, of course, it's Pittsburgh and Cleveland, but I think the interesting game is going to be the Bears and the Saints. I think it's going to be a pretty solid matchup.
Okay. I am going Bills Colts. You've got the resurgence of Josh Allen. And you've got Old Man Rivers. Is this his last hurrah? Can he finally win in the playoffs? Or is it same old with this guy? So I think that one's going to be wild interesting. So for the AFC, I got Titans, Ravens. I'm going Ravens. I just feel like they have gotten through their COVID issues and gotten through their injuries. And at this particular time, they're healthy and they're playing some of their best ball. I got mad love for Derrick Henry. Y'all saw what I did for Josh Norman with that Derrick Henry cover last season. But I also did Tannehill. Let's keep that a buck. But I gotta go with Lamar now. Especially with the emergence of what's his name, Boykins, one of the other wide receivers, and then Des Bryant. He's actually caught a touchdown in the last 2 games. So they're looking for him in the red zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, you got Derrick Henry, who's an awesome running back. But you got a team that runs. You know what I mean? Down to the quarterback, somebody running. Somebody. So I just feel like, and especially it's a rematch from last year when the Titans whipped that tail. Lamar got a lot to prove. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm seeing that. So let's go Steelers, Browns. Dude, I feel for the Browns, man. This is the first time they made it in 18 years, and their head coach, 2 other coaches, 2 players on the defense got COVID or won't be able to play because they might have an exposure. And then you got Olivier Vernon, who's been playing great for them on defense, out with an Achilles. I just feel for the Browns, like, come on, darn, I know you know, because still game, bang, bang,
bang, bang.
I was on Couch Coach's show yesterday. Big shouts off the Ball Network, of course. Big shouts, Couch Coach.
Yes, salute.
Couch Coach Live. Thanks for having me on. I was on his show yesterday, and I mentioned you. I was like, Mr. Lewis, it's still a game. It's ridiculous. So it carries. It's wonderful.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Bills, Colts. End of the day, I got the Bills winning that. It's going to be a match. That one's going to be a hot game. It is. Unless it's not. And the Bills just do what they did to the Dolphins. Like, easy. Here. Have that. NFC style, I got the Saints versus Bears. I don't think it's going to be nearly as hard. I think Saints is going to handle that. I've got the Seahawks versus the Rams. That one is another one to watch for me because we got to see what Jared Goff is really about. And both of those teams aren't the most solid teams in the world. So it'll be interesting. That one, I'm going Seahawks because at the end of the day, Jared Goff and Carson Wentz are kind of the same people to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just are the same people. And I mean, he could be a guy who gets hot right now, or he could be the guy who showed up against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he didn't show up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I'm with you.
You know what I mean? So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. Washington and Tampa Bay. I really wanted it to be the Giants in Tampa Bay because then I'd have no problems really believing that Eli would call Daniel and tell him how to beat Tom. Because Eli the only one who know how to beat Tom consistently. To all you haters out there for Eli Manning, shut up. So I'm like, Washington, I mean, listen, Alex Smith is a solid quarterback. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's healthy. He's the story of the year. No question. And they might have enough juice, especially because they are not looked upon to win this. So I feel like that could be a good game if Washington's offense shows up. Because Montez Sweat and Chase Young, they're going to show up. But I don't know about the offense. I mean, is it enough to handle what Tom could possibly put on him? We'll see. You know, so that one, I actually got the Bucks winning that one, but don't tell my wife. I know she'll be watching this and be mad at me. Especially as I wax so poetically on Coach's show about her, so it's all great. But you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know if they got enough to pull it off. I would love to see it, just for their, you know, confidence in their emergence. It would be interesting to see. But I got the Bucks winning.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's in the cards for them this year.
What's your upset to watch?
I'd say watch for that Chicago-New Orleans upset.
You think Chicago gonna beat them?
Yeah, something's just said my spidey senses are tingling.
Miles Morales or Peter Parker?
Who do you think?
I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Does Peter Parker look like this? I mean, even though the old heads that be hating, they be calling us spider heads, but hey.
Listen, Albert, you forget one thing. Miles, I believe he's from the Bronx. Peter from Queens. Queens finest all day. You know, he from the hood, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't see MCU Civil War?
Yeah.
Like, where you from? I'm from Queens. Where you from? Steve was like, from Brooklyn. Yo, I'm sorry.
He ain't even like, you could have said I'm from Brooklyn, son. Had his Timbs on and all, right?
Yo, Captain America probably got Timbs.
Like from Brooklyn, son.
But you know Spidey, Tom Holland Spidey got Timbs. He got Timbs. I know this for a fact. No, I don't. But I know. I know this for a fact. All right, so yeah, so that was okay. Yeah, I got lost in the whole Spider-Man thing, but you know, it's what we do. But all right, so my upset to watch is if Old Man Rivers and the Colts could pull it off against the Bills.
Okay.
I mean, the Bills are the hotness right now in the AFC. They're the star. And Old Man Rivers could finally win some playoff games, starting with this one, and somehow, Wilfred Brimley himself to the Super Bowl. That would be what's up.
Hey.
But so that's why that's my upset of the week.
All right.
Now, okay, so we got that. What's your biggest headline going into this weekend?
Not much. I tried to see what was going on in the MMA action. But as you see, it's pretty much slow down for the holiday season.
Right.
But they do have some upcoming cards in February. Bellator, they have matches still to be announced, but they are having a pay-per-view event on the 1st, and UFC will be having theirs on the 13th.
Okay.
So I'll be looking forward to those. Other than that, it's just been a pretty much slow news week besides fighters, I guess, talking smack back and forth on Twitter. John Bones Jones, he did announce that from here on he will be staying in the heavyweight ranks. So
can he stay off the juice?
That is the question. I mean, but hey, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell, my man. Only time will tell. Let's see.
I mean, because personally, I mean, it's like I have mixed emotions. It's like, yeah, you keep messing up, bro, but you are one of my favorite fighters to watch.
Yeah, of course. He's very exciting. He's tantalizing.
Yeah.
But then when the fight's over, he gets popped.
You go back to wilding, yeah, like
you
act, he like you acting like the Adrian Broner of MMA.
Good analogy, because Adrian Broner, man, oh my gosh. Yo, you watched The Mandalorian?
Of course.
Yo, season 2 was Johnny Blaze, bro.
Bananas.
Like, I mean, bro, they've done a great job really just fleshing out the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah.
From a lower level. You know what I mean? And I mean, season 1 was great. It really was. Season 2, though, I mean, there's so many elements in Star Wars Rebels. And it's callbacks stuff to the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. And then you see the dynamic between Boba and the Mandalorians. It's not cool. But then you find out that Jango was actually the man. Even though he wasn't Mandalorian, he was a foundling, but he was the man.
Yeah.
Until he got tangled up in Palpatine's nonsense. It's crazy. I love all of that. I mean, but you know how big a Star Wars head I am.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, what you don't realize is on the other side of this computer screen, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Star Wars posters, huge, on my wall. I've got rows of action figures, scenes from each movie. To include the Clone Wars and Rebels and Rogue One. Not Solo, not because it was bad. I liked Solo. It just doesn't necessarily fit in the timeline that I have for my action. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Farr has the action figures. If y'all didn't know how deep it goes, you know now. I got novels. I got graphic novels. You know what I mean? I got all the movies. I got all the series, except Mandalorian, because Disney's punk behinds haven't released it yet. I'm annoyed. Like they haven't released season 1 either. Like, dude, I collect DVDs. Give me my shit.
Oh, did you see too that they're actually going to have a Boba Fett spinoff?
Yeah. And I'm excited about that. Because that's going to be another lower level side, but it's going to show the outer rim.
Yeah, and shout out to Ming Na Wen. saw her announce it on her page. I follow her on Instagram. She announced that she got another show. If y'all remember her, she was doing her thing on the Agents of Shield for.
She was the cavalry, bruh.
Yeah,
the cavalry. Yo,
now she got a monster with the sniper. Yeah, man.
I remember her from the late 80s, early 90s when she was getting her start on daytime television, bro. She was in the stories, bro. I forget which one. It's been a long time. But that's when I first saw her. She was in the stories, bro. You know what I mean? She was like Meg Ryan, because Meg Ryan came from the stories too. If y'all don't know what the stories are, they're soap operas during the daytime. Every black woman I ever knew in my life called them the stories.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So that's what that is.
And they were always their stories. Like they own stock in it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, I know Victor didn't just do that. Like, you don't know no Victor. What you
Shut up, kids. I'm watching my story.
You better go outside, babe. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, just to make sure y'all know that we still do it the way we did it last season. We've got the Jack Daniels. This one is the single barrel proof. And it's quite tasty, actually. I still haven't gotten a daggone sponsor yet, but we're still working on that. We're working on that. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hit you up with a quick commercial break. When we get back, Mr. Lou has got a new segment for us we're going to dive into. I'm very, very, very excited to check that out. And we still have coming up at around 9:45 Eastern Standard Time, Mr. Dupre DoItAll Kelly will be stopping by the building and hang out with the fellas to close out the show. And I'm very excited to see that. So, again, party people, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Once to get us on, it's your main man, Coach Fa. And that's Mr. Lewis.
Yo, you gotta get this new Cinnamon Toast Cap, baby. You can eat it everywhere. Eat it with your Gucci and your Bugatti. You can eat it with your $250,000 ice on, son. You can eat it off your girl's booty while she twerking and fall in your mouth off of the booty cheeks in your mouth like, yeah, son. It's all hype. It's all cap. It's all hype beast. Come get it. We got everything in here. Let's get it, son. We got the money. We got the clothes. We got the hoes. We got the drugs. Cinnamon Toast Cap. Cinnamon Toast Cap. We got everything but the truth, yeah.
A moment in the life of life.
What up? Welcome to A Moment in the Lou. This week, nothing much going on. Just talking about what I've been doing this past break. Unfortunately, my son caught COVID and that locked the whole household down. So we were spent the whole holidays indoors and separated. But thank goodness he's all right. He had mild symptoms at best. He had a light asthma attack, and we're worried because he was high risk. But he's doing okay. He's recovering. He's upstairs chilling now, and we're all good in the Lewis household. But during that time, I got a lot of gaming in and a lot of TV watching, and plus also the fact it's a slow. It's usually slow during the holiday seasons when it comes to auditions and whatnot. So had nothing coming in from my agent. So sat back. I was playing Cyberpunk 2077, which was a surprise. I wasn't even thinking of that game, and I kept seeing so much hype around it. So I decided, hey, I got nothing going on. Let's see what's up with it. And I loved the game. It seemed like it was like the Keanu Reeves whole film career. You know what I mean? If you play through the whole game, you can see all types of Easter eggs. If you know his career, see all types of things, especially his sci-fi career, like Johnny Mnemonic, The Matrix, and and others, even some John Wick. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, even Bill and Ted. It's like, oh, you can see all types of deep things up in there, you know. So yeah, if you're into that, check it out. If y'all didn't hear me last season, I still got issues with Ubisoft. You know, I was playing AC Valhalla and they got mad glitches, and also Cyberpunk is glitch city too. But the game is so dope that I didn't mind the glitches now, and I was still able to complete the game. With Ubisoft, like they helped me for like 2 weeks. We couldn't figure out the problem, and then they ghosted me.
Wow.
And it's been almost like a solid month, and I've been throwing shots at them on social media, but I gets nothing. I'm about to open up another work ticket because the crazy thing about these glitches is you can't complete the game without the glitches. And, you know, I got viewers on Twitch that be like, be watching, and they're like, you know, they don't want to see me just keep running into the same brick wall, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, moving on. TV watching. I was watching Hulu. Saw this series called I Am the Night. It's about Fauna Hodel, who was actually the granddaughter of George Hodel, who was the main suspect in what is Hollywood's most famous unsolved murder, the Black Dahlia murder.
Okay. Wow.
Never even thought of this. I mean, of course, we all know the story. If we know about film in Hollywood from the 30s, the golden era, and 40s. And just once again, it was a pleasant surprise. Not pleasant, but like a shocking surprise. The show prompted me to go and listen to the podcast that was started by Fauna's daughters, which is called The Root of Evil. And oh man, I mean, really? I know it's like folks will be like, man, you talking about stuff that's almost 100 years ago. But man, if you just listen, tune into the podcast, check it out, and then come back and tell me you weren't going to be like, whoa, because it's so much in there that proves that he's more than likely the guy that did it. But then that's just a footnote in the whole crazy life that this man led.
Really?
Yeah. And on top of the fact that he's believed to have killed close to 50 women. Yeah, it gets crazy. And he has multiple books written about him by his own son. His son became a private investigator and became obsessed with finding proof of what his father did. And it's a lot, but check out the Root of Evil podcast. If you got Hulu, then follow it up with I Am the Night. It's pretty good. Stars Chris Pine and I forgot the young lady's name who plays Fauna Hodel, but it's a real intriguing story. Also has Golden Brooks from Girlfriends. She's on there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a Golden Brooks. Though.
Yeah, it's a real intriguing story.
Phil Jones is my.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. And also on YouTube, I just stumbled across these little short docu-series about funk legends and all that, and they were talking about, well, let me backtrack. Once again on Hulu, I saw Finding Betty Davis, which is a documentary about the funk legend and former wife of Miles Davis,
right,
Miss Betty Davis. And
one of my favorites.
And yeah, learning that she was from my stomping grounds where I was born. Y'all know I was born in Johnstown, PA, and she's from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
One, and for two, just hearing the type of woman she was, the type of artist she was, the type of innovator she was. I'm surprised she's not mentioned much at all when it comes to inspiring female artists, Black female artists, or even modern artists in general when it comes to truly and freely expressing themselves, because Shorty was way ahead of her time.
They Say I'm Different is one of my favorite songs, yo. Like,
yeah.
There's two that I play in my car all the time, and that's one of them, yo.
Yes, and a couple of her songs, as I'm listening to them, I'm like, oh, I've heard them sampled many a times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, on the happy note, shout out, Cav Little Cuz, Terrell.
Okay.
Former NFL player Terrell Brown. Shout out to the homie. It's his birthday today. Salute to you, young Lord. Hope you and
Happy
your family
birthday,
doing
young
well.
Lord.
And then I want to give like as you mentioned earlier, I want to give a rest in peace shout out to my cousin Danielle. She was a firestorm of a human being. She actually reached out to me through the Ancestry DNA site. You know, she was like, "Yo, we share a match," and from then on, she was connecting and hitting me with all types of information about family and things that she had been studying and researching, and was talking about all the amazing stuff her and her son were doing. They lived out in LA, and
Okay.
you know, they actually did our voices on the new Last Dragon anime. She's Mama Green, her son's Richie Green.
Wow.
Shout out to Isaac. And yeah, she had a real unfortunate year. Like, you know, from what I had heard from her last, it was a real bad year for her. I mean, I don't even want to go into detail, but it's like to end it with this, it was just devastating, and to find out through social media, because you know, yeah. And what was wild, I was making plans before when the pandemic ended to go out there and finally meet everyone face to face and get to know the fam and all that.
Right.
But, you know, yeah, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But you know, love you, cuz glad to have seen your light in the little few years that we got to correspond with each other, and you know, you with the ancestors. But yeah, that's the end of my segment. On a lighter note, tune in next week. I might have some more news for you. My life is constantly going, so the adventure and the saga continues.
The saga continues in the moment in the life of Mr. Lewis. I can dig it. Can you dig it? I think it is Doug. And with that, we'll be right back.
Introducing the new group, Three Men with Mustaches. If you want to get your party on Italian style, you better come in here with a smile. Joe Pesci and the Mustaches.
That's still one of my real quietly favorite joints, yo.
They open for the do-rags.
And the do-rag open for the afros. You know how we do it, party people. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, we really appreciate y'all kicking it with us, spending time with us in your evenings.
Yes, thank you.
You know, again, it's a growing show, but it's a fun show. And I know y'all tune in because y'all dig how we get it done and how it goes down. Now, let's just keep it $2.50. I am dying to just throw off these headphones and run into the other room and see what in the world is going on with my team right now. It's kind of killing me that they decided to have a game on the night that we do the show. It's very hard because I don't do a Knicks post game. Big shouts to Nick TV. Y'all do that. You know what I mean? Nick of Time, all of y'all, big shouts, big respect due to the podcasters and the folk that talk this wonderful Knicks talk. What I typically do is a candid minute. Y'all know what that is, hopefully. That's when I go, as I'm driving to work, in the car, in the whip, with the tunes, just like I got the tunes here, with the tunes, and I just kind of expound on what I saw from the night before. I don't like doing post game because my reaction right then may differ once I had time to think about things and sleep on it. So I actually prefer to do my recap in the morning on my way to work as opposed to doing it the night of. So that's where that is. But what that leaves me with is I want to see what's happening, and I can't. I just can't. And listen, I know y'all winning. I know y'all. We weren't winning, but this is not last year's Knicks team. Just because we weren't winning in the beginning,
right,
don't mean we're not gonna find some kind of way to pull it out. I mean, between Emmanuel Quickly, between R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson doing a wonderful thistles. You know what I mean? Kevin Knox is emerging, and yeah, I got the fingers. Not they're not crossed for him to have, to be all right. I'm just like, I know he can ascend, and I'm just waiting to see. And we've got a bunch of little nicks and injuries right now with Nerlens Noel, Frank Ntilikina, Ali Burke. So we got a lot of folk out that actually could do something on defense and on scoring. But Emmanuel Quickly and Kevin Knox have this kind of vibe. It's very cool. Every time he's on the floor, Knox is better. So I'm just sitting back, patiently awaiting the time that I could watch MSG's recap of this game, because I'm not going to watch the score. I'm not going on Twitter. I'm not going on Twitter, y'all. Not till after I see this. I'm sorry. After the show, listen, y'all not going to see me till the morning.
Yeah.
Mainly, again, that's how I do it. And honestly, I just kind of want to see how this ends. And I always want to hear Clyde and Mike Breen talking, because we got two of the best commentators in the entire league, in Mike Breen and Clyde Frazier. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So did you check your scores yet, man? How y'all doing?
Nah, I'm gonna wait till after the show to check mine out. But I know we doing our thing, and I forgot to mention earlier. One way I know we're gonna have a great season. Ben Simmons is hitting 3-pointers.
How many?
He hit one. That's promising.
Okay.
Besides, though, as long as he keeps shutting down them other guards, I ain't mad, because he's a defensive monster.
I can't be mad at that, and I won't be, not at all. It's hilarious though, but
yeah, it's funny.
I mean, it's funny because
he's the first point guard without a jumper, and he won't be the last.
Yo, but you know what? I still think he's playing out of position. I don't point forward maybe, but I still think he might need to play the 4 or the 3, really, to get the maximum out of him. But that's just me. We'll see. Doc Rivers knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers knows what he's doing.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you guys another wonderful commercial break. And I know that our special guest is getting in very shortly, so we'll be able to have him on. And in the meantime, I do want to share, since I brought it up, I want to give you all that Josh Norman skit that I did, because, yeah, he deserves this. And Derrick Henry, good luck.
Yeah, the Bills signed me because they know I'm the absolute best. I know the Redskins and the Panthers, they didn't realize or recognize my talent, but now I'm going to show these Bills what I'm made of. Yeah, so I'm ready. I'm ready, guys. Who we facing? Who? Derrick Henry. Well, he's a running back. I'll worry about wide receivers. That's going to be all right. That's going to be all right. Wait a minute. Oh, no, the protection broke down. It's a running play. Here I come. I'm going to stop. Help! Lord of mercy! Help me! Oh, my God, Jesus! Oh, my God! Oh, help! Ladies and gentlemen, Derrick Henry.
If you're feeling ill, feeling sick, feeling nauseous, or just need that wonderful fiber kick, and you don't have any fiber around, try brand new Oscar Mayer pumpkin spice bologna. Guaranteed to flush everything out of your body. You will go find it at any local store, even though I don't know why you would want it.
I have not found that in the store yet, thank God.
Oh Lord. I hope I don't round here. Shoot, you know, I live in Amish country. It'd be pumpkin spice, everything around here this time of year.
That it's not gangster.
At all.
At all, actually. All right, so while we are getting into this hip hop moment, you know what? Because I'm going to expound on Busta Rhymes' new album in just a minute.
Yo, I'm glad you brought that up because
Give it just a second, my brother, and we gonna do it.
It's the hip hop corner. It's the hip hop corner. Coach Fonz and Mr. Lewis. Yeah, it's the hip hop. It's the hip hop corner.
That album is blazing. That album is blazing.
yes,
It
sir.
is everything that today's hip hop needs to hear. From the wisdom to the lyricism to the production, and then even to the videos where he got people his age, women his age.
Yeah.
I
Salute. Yes. Great production.
Buster Bust, man.
And did it again.
You've always been a favorite of mine.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But I mean, there was a couple after the Big Bang.
Yeah.
It was like you was trying to find your way in this new ocean. And bruh, you didn't find you built a yacht, bruh. You are cruising quite lovely right now. I mean, wow.
He proving why don't nobody want to go up against him in that verses, huh?
I'm just saying. So what'd you think of the project, Lou?
Yo, everything you said, man. I mean, from the gate, it was like when we were in Fort Hood and we first heard the first Extinction Level event, we lost our damn minds. And it was like that same feeling again, you know what I mean? And even better, because it was just like, man, I still bump that album to this day. I was just bumping Look Over Your Shoulder before we even started the show, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Matter of fact, yeah, I was like, I dedicate that song to all my friends and fam this year. Like, we done been through too much, especially this past year. Like, if you need me, I'm right here.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Yo, I mean, you know what's cool? One of the residual effects of that album is I heard from the rumor mill that Rakim might actually even be working on a new project.
Nice. I heard he got verse of the year.
Yeah, he got that off of Busta's joint too.
Yeah.
Busta had Rakim on his album.
Sure.
I mean, why are the youth missing the boat on Rakim? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
It's like I can't even. I literally can't even fathom it. He is literally one of the godfathers of what we do. I mean, between him and Kool Moe Dee, we could be spitting this a whole different way right now. if not for them. And for what he did poetically and metaphorically to challenge cats to get deeper and better with their, I don't understand why people miss the boat on Rockham. I don't get that. I don't get that.
Yeah. Him or other legends. I mean,
some legends I get.
Well, I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying.
There's a disconnect between. Yeah, there's a disconnect. You're right. I give you that.
Even though, and there are a couple still around that they could go away.
Yeah, there's some now that.
Yeah, it's some now that as soon as they get started, it's like stop.
You opened your mouth wide.
Yeah, bro, like
we could have done without that.
Remember when people that couldn't rap didn't rap?
Oh, it was wonderful back then. It was absolutely wonderful back then. I miss those days. But hey, Lou, guess what?
What up?
We got a special guest.
All right.
And I can't wait to bring him in. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I think I just had a technical difficulty, but I'm okay. We will bring in to the Hip Hop Corner, Mr. Dupre Kelly, aka Do It All from Lords of the Underground. Yeah. What is happening, my brother?
Welcome, sir.
Yes, sir.
What up, fellas?
First of all, thank you very much, my brother, for coming on to the show. We truly appreciate you.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
And I appreciate you guys, what y'all doing for the culture, man. Real talk.
Well, we try, man. We're trying to give these youth people who don't really know and understand what the grind was and why the grind was so beautiful back then and why we have this appreciation for the culture.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I always try to bring in people who I feel like were part of that ascension.
Absolutely.
And could give these cats, these young men and women, you know, that perspective. And, and that appreciation. Don't just rhyme. Why are you rhyming?
Right.
You know, why are you here? You know, so yo, and side note, my wife is like the hugest fan of Lords of the Underground. I swear to goodness.
Oh man, shout out to wifey, man.
Yo, my wife, when she sees this episode, because she always watches after it's done.
Right.
She's kirking out.
What's her name?
As we speak. Kemi.
Kemi,
Kemi.
Kemi, salute to you. Thank you for the love for all of the years, Kemi. It's love, man. Your hubby is doing a great thing, man, for the culture. And I salute you for rocking with my brothers, Lord Jazz and Mr. Funky, and myself, Do It All, collectively known as Lords of the Underground. Thank you, sis. I appreciate it.
I'm cheesing because I'm humbled by that. Thank you.
Love, man. You
gotta
support the women, man, because the women support everything, man. They the backbone behind everything, even hip hop.
Especially hip hop from day one.
Facts.
Sisters was like harder than the dudes with it. Like,
absolutely.
Yes. They would clown you harder than any dude. What? You know, your big sis, my big cousin, what you doing? You ain't good. You better get better.
Facts.
Yo, big shouts to all the sisters.
Coming with me for battles. What? He do, man, come on around here. You know, you can't do anything, you know, the right way without a woman's involvement. You know what I mean?
Indeed. Whether it's your mother, your sister, your cousin. Mm-hmm. So a question I would love to ask my guests when they come through is, especially to start it off, because this puts you in the right mindset. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Man, I fell in love with hip hop in 1979. I actually lived in Irvington, New Jersey for like maybe about a year. And in Irvington, New Jersey, I stayed with my mom, my stepdad, who's my dad. I don't even like to call step, but and we had an extra room. And my uncle, who I wanted to be just like, you know, he came home from the army I believe his attribute back then, everybody had attributes.
Indeed.
His attribute was Rob Bean. Rob Bean
Okay.
back then. But his name was
Okay.
Daryl, and when he came home from the Army, he didn't have a place to stay. So, of course, Big Sis, like, yo, I got an extra room. Come stay with me. He came in there, and I'm about maybe 8 years old, and when he came in, he went into the extra room. He had this 12-inch record. It didn't sound like the music that my mother was playing in the living room, and it was by this group called Sugar Hill Gang, and it was called Rappers Delight. So he played this record. He would smoke what I thought was a cigar with a funny aroma back then, but it was really a white boy joint. You know what I mean? And he had aroma coming out of that. So it was this funny aroma, hip hop. Now I'm on the other side of the door.
Right.
And I noticed when he closed the door, he had a shoebox where he used to fight praying mantis. So all of these are my first hip hop memories. Funny aroma coming out, which I later found out that was marijuana.
Yeah.
And this record that was going the hip, the hop, and it was like 12 minutes long or something back then.
Yes.
And it was playing over and over again. And my mother was listening to Shaka Khan and Stevie Wonder and all that in the living room. But for some reason, I gravitated to the back of the house where this vibe was coming from. And I started to ask him and explore, what is that? And he was like, man, that's hip hop, man. It wasn't even, he said, that's them rocking. I don't remember him even calling it rap music then.
Right.
He was calling it hip hop. And I noticed early on that it was rocking. Even when you danced, you up rocked when you danced on top.
Right.
You down rocked before they called it breakdancing, And when you rocked the microphone, you rocked the mic.
Yes,
before it was hip hop, it was called rocking.
And that's where I Run DMC was a king of rock.
And I wanted to rock, man. I wanted to find out everything about that culture. And I later found out that the thing that I fell in love with that made me love the culture so much wasn't even the originator of the culture. So that's why sometimes when we talk about things that get us into other things, like I hear people disrespect Sugar Hill Gang because they stole from Kaz. They stole from the people that came.
Hank did. The other two, that was original, poor fellas.
Yeah, that was original. But what it did do was it introduced people who wouldn't have known it on a whole another level. And then by you getting introduced to it, you delve deeper into it and found out what it was really about. So
for yourself.
That was the first time I fell in love with hip hop.
Right on. Great story, by the way. That was amazing. And I appreciate that. Man. You had me going back because my Uncle Tony gave that same record to my big sis.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I'm in the house. I'm like 8. We might be about the same age. Look at the book.
Hey, man, I turn 50 next week, bro.
Okay, we not.
But
I'm right there.
Well, shout out Capricorn Gang.
Capricorn Gang. Yo. And that Big Nickel. Happy Big Nickel.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Not a lot of us made it out to get to that Big Nickel. I was
going to be 21.
So I'm saying?
To have 100. You know what I
mean? I'm 2 seconds behind you, literally.
Hey, man, so love right there.
We right there. But now you know what? We'll delve from that to when did you start actually writing? And I know you had a DJ back in the day who's quite famous today in hip hop.
And it's probably he's probably one of the reasons I'm actually getting on a little later tonight. You know what I mean? Shout out to him, man. When I first started writing, I started writing in Newark, New Jersey, in the South Ward of Newark, New Jersey. No, actually, I'm serious. Yeah, I started writing like that in the South Ward of Newark, New Jersey, 17th Street. And one of the guys who I thought was an ill writer on my block, we used to call him Suicide Sal. Rest in peace to Suicide Sal, man. And I just thought he was one of the ill writers. My man Martin, he had a joint, man, that I love so much, man. We called him the Mighty One. And we were, we started our own group, UCR, the Underground Rockers and the Mighty Crew. And, that's when everybody had the initials that were ironed on your sweatshirt.
Yes.
And all of that
yes.
And you abbreviated everything. So we was, rest in peace to Ecstasy, because we wanted to be like Houdini and Run DMC, and everybody wanted to be a group back then.
Right.
So that's when I started writing. When I noticed how my freestyles would form circles around me in school and things of that nature. And I tried every aspect, every element of the culture. I tried to dance. I tried to break dance and all that. Wasn't that good at, break dance. And I was more of a popper. I tried to do graffiti and all of that type of stuff. But my penmanship wasn't really up to par.
I'm with you. You tried turntables too, didn't you?
Oh, I definitely tried turntables, but after scratching up aunties and mama's records, you know what I mean? They threatened my life so much that I said I didn't want to do that.
Don't you touch my records no more.
Right. But I noticed that when I would narrate the culture, when I would narrate how we were living the culture through this art form called rap music, when I started rapping to the crowd, when I started introducing the DJ and introducing the break dancers in a special way, I realized that it made people gravitate to me, and I felt like, oh, I got something here. Now let me put this pen down, right. It wasn't like how all of the new rappers do it today. Everybody believed that they can be big, be big or Jay, and not
do it for the money, honestly.
We wrote, we crafted,
every day.
We crafted scripted, narrations of how we live the culture. So that's when I fell in love again with hip hop.
What did your notebooks look like? Describe the notebooks, because these kids don't even write; they talk into their phone. I had the marble notebooks.
You had the what?
The marble notebooks.
Oh, the marble notebooks.
Yes, sir.
You was getting fancy on them.
Yo, I mean, $1 at the convenience store, and you had 100 pages, and it was sewn in.
Right. It was sewn in. They don't know about that sewn in notebook.
No, they don't know about that sewn. All right. So, how did you find Lords of the Underground?
So, Lords of the Underground, man. I didn't talk about my DJ. My DJ at that time, like before Lords of the Underground, I was a solo artist, and my DJ, I was a solo artist with dancers. Real big fan of Big Daddy Kane. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane. And the reason why I say big fan of Daddy Kane, man, because I used to write his lyrics down just so I could memorize them, and memorize his cadences and all of that. And I own a studio now. So years later, full circle, show you how full circle it is. I get a call from Kane's manager and say, yo, he in your town, and he needs a studio to record in. And I told him he should holler at you. So then Kane called me, man, and he came to record in my studio. Just like this, like just looking at this guy like, I used to write your lyrics down to be like you, and now you're recording in my studio. So that was full circle, man.
Yeah.
I had dances, with the big flat tops and everything, and we had the oak tree suits on, the mustard green and mustard yellow oak tree with the paisley button-ups on.
I know.
Oak tree is so bad for real right there.
I was Oak tree and cooled it down.
So, Big Daddy Kane, man, is like I wanted to be Kane, man, and that was my guy, man. And Redman was our DJ.
Yes.
At that time, man. So, I'm sorry I got off on Kane so much. What was the question again, man?
No, so after Kane and Redman was your DJ. And I thought that was just so cool because, both of y'all are known lyrically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, he was a DJ? And he was your DJ? And then you did Lords of the Underground? And then he was rapping? Wow. And that's Brick City right there.
That's hip hop history right there, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Reggie Noble, man, who is actually one of my top 5 MCs, man.
Dude, he's a B-boy still. That dude is an MC. Yes, sir. Yeah. And so are you. Let's keep that above. Yes, We Fresh. It's still one of my most favorite songs.
All right, no doubt.
But we'll get into that in a minute. So then you got this. How'd you get to this?
Lords of the Underground, Here Come the Lords?
Yes, the first album. Marley Marl.
We were at Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
I just recently introduced Redman to Eric Sermon, so they were on, and Red just dropped his single. No, he didn't drop the single yet, but he was more like the headbanger. He was rocking with EPMD and all
Yes,
that.
verses.
And I promised my moms that I would take a year off and try to get, take a year off of college and try to get a record deal. So she allowed me to take a year off, but my dumb butt in that year off, I got into some trouble with the police. So she made me go to school. I went to school thanks to a councilman who was in politics in our community. He was working with our manager, and he just took a liking to me, thought I was a good guy, and he didn't want to let that one mistake mess me up. Right. So he got me into a school. I played baseball at the time too, so I lost all my baseball scholarships, everything. Wow. And he got me to Shaw University, Raleigh, North Carolina, man, and that school changed my life, man. That's where I met, even though we were from the same city, we were actually in the same program that was sending youths who were in trouble to school. Me and Mr. Funky, man.
Okay.
So I was DJ Lord Jazz, who actually is the founder of Lords of the Underground. He put Lords of the Underground together. He's from Cleveland, Ohio.
Really?
His best friend, who was Derek Jackson, was from LA, and he was actually the cousin of Marley Marl. Shout out to Marley too. I spoke to Marley today. And he put us together. He said, yo, I'm going to work for my cousin when I graduate. His best friend was Lord Jazz. He said, yo, you need to put together a group so I can play him for Marley. So I was going around the campus while DJ Lord Jazz, he was the hot DJ on the yard.
Right.
So I would follow him so I can get the mic at all of the parties. And I guess my approach was cool. He would let me grab the mic and we would rock. And I would rock and tear the parties up. And then somebody said, yo, you need to bring Funky up here and let Jazz off on the radio. He said, y'all need to do a part together on the radio and perform on my radio show, which was a jazz station at the time.
Oh, wow.
SAJ.
80.9. I know it well.
And, he brought myself and Funky up there, and we wrote one. We did it one time as a freestyle. The Triangle area in Raleigh, North Carolina went crazy. They loved it. And they were like, yo, next time you have your show, bring the guys that rap to come back. So we said, when we come back, let's write a rhyme together that we can bounce off each other. And that rhyme was, excuse me, Mr. Funky, man, yes, do it all. Can I take this stand and slap like bam, bam, like bam?
Okay.
It became
That's where that came from.
So that came from us mom on the radio together. And the rest is history, man. He LA introduced us to his cousin, who was Marley Marl. I didn't believe him. They were on the Juice Crew tour, and they came out. They saw us, man, and the rest is history, man. Changed our life.
Bravo.
Oh, yeah, man.
And when y'all came out with Funky Child, bro, I tell you, because Psycho, I didn't think y'all was DOS. I heard what y'all said. Right. Psycho was cool, but when Funky Child came out, I was like, okay, they're serious. Them dudes serious.
It was another anthem.
That one is an anthem.
Yeah, man. I think that was the theme of my football teams that season. Now, I was an Army brat down in Oklahoma. Like, yeah. That's all you heard coming out the locker room was Lords of the Underground that year, for real.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you home? We both veterans.
We were in college, so all of the athletic teams, all of the football teams, the baseball teams, the basketball teams, and representing the college, in the fraternities. I'm an Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Funk is a captain. You know what I mean? So we was representing for the youth, and that it was cool to be from the streets and still get an education.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And let's just be real. You had a couple of wonderful pieces of work since then. You know what I mean? You guys have definitely, I know Mr. Funky is still touring and stuff like that. Lord Jazz still tearing it up. You're still tearing it up. I see you with Snow Goons and things like that.
Right. Shout out to my brothers. Like I said, my birthday is next week. But
yes, sir.
My birthday. I got a house down in Florida that I rented, and we're gonna take the whole family down there for my birthday since it's COVID. And just chill with my family. But the day before my birthday, we will be on Drink Champs. So shout out to Nori, shout out to DJ.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
We'll be filming Drink Champs for my birthday, man. So,
Right on. Right on. So we warming you up for Drink Champs. That's what's up. Oh, and let's just keep it above. We have tasty beverages here as well.
grown man right there.
Oh, every week I drop a wonderful gem. I trust.
And I stay with my alkaline water.
Yes, because he's the healthy one. So listen, no doubt. I know there was a lot we want to get into. I'm going to get into another piece with you, kind of transitioning away from hip hop into kind of more the community side, because that was a passion for you, I could tell. You know what I mean? And this came from somewhere. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this young man here ran for Newark councilman. You know, and keep running, bro. We need you in office. You know what I mean? I'll vote for you every time. I'm in Middlesex County, unfortunately, but you know, if I got to drive up to Newark to vote for you, I'm gonna drive up to Newark to vote for you.
All right, come on.
So, where did that political passion come from? Right on. Did it come from back in the day with that young man who helped you out?
Most definitely. You hit it right on the head. Like in our community, man, I'll shout out to Hafiz Fareed, who was our manager. But Hafiz Fareed was the chief of staff for a councilman by the name of Ralph Grant Sr., who is the president of a college named Pillar College now. But he was the chief of staff of this guy, and we was his artists. So he would make sure, like, he wasn't just our manager. He was our male influence. He was the guy
mentor
who made that 3 men who did not have fathers, who now had all of this money and this fame, had a male figure around them to help guide us. He's the reason why no member of my group has ever done drugs. I mean, they might have smoked some bud, don't get me wrong, but he's the reason why nobody ever did drugs. He's the reason why nobody became alcoholic. He's that reason, because he was our reason and our voice when it came to dealing with situations that young rich men now with money needed a male figure to be. You know what I mean? So he would also say, if you make money, then you need to come back to your community and show them how to do it and plant seeds and do all of those type of things. So he would show us civics, you know, and those civics that he would he would say to us, if you got all of these fans, then you can galvanize the community to come together, and then we could put a speaker in front that can give them the information and the knowledge that you're not a professional with yet. You know what I mean? Or expert at. And then we'll put experts in front of them to give information. And then that started me to understand more about community. And then when I started to understand more about community, I started to have direct relationships with the residents and the people of that community. And then by doing that, you start to have an understanding about them. You can know somebody, right? But until you live on their block and how they move and their inner workings, now you really know them. Now you don't just know of them, you know them. You know, and that's how it started to be with my community, with the educational system and all of that type of stuff. And I started to realize, wow, if I was super hit, it's not about just making it out of our ghetto or out of our neighborhoods, but it's about staying here and fixing it up and making it more popular so people don't want to leave, and it makes more people want to come, you know?
Right.
And from that mentality, I started to say, you know what, I want to help my community more, you know, be that superhero from by being there hand-on and not being a superhero from a distance, which is cool with some people. But when you can be hands-on with people, right, you just touch things a little differently. And when you touch something right, you feel it, you know? There's a difference between Superman and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Because you have a superhero and a supervillain. They're both powerful, they both got powers, but they got a different intention.
Yes. Right on. Right on. Well, listen, brother, I know you just got in not too long ago and you jumped on, and I really appreciate you guys doing that for us.
Yes, yes.
I'd love to have you back on if possible.
Man, let's do it, man. Let's do it, for real.
Oh,
Did you have a good time?
Let's do it, man. For real.
All right. Did you have a good time, though?
Yes, yes.
All right. Because that's the most important part. When you come to the Candid Corner, you got to have a good time.
Hey, man, we here, man.
We here, brother.
Bring the 40 with me to crack the 40 on the corner.
Yo, you know what? I ain't had a 40 in 40 years, but I'll have one with you.
hey, I'll crack one for you. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Dupre DoItAll Kelly of Laws That Are Underground, one of the best lyricists of New Jersey to do it. Hall of Fame Steez.
Hip hop cornerstone, sir.
Yes, sir.
Check out that new video, man, on a solo project that I have. It's called Brenda's Son That's Coming, but the single is called The Life. You can check it out on YouTube. Just put Do It All in and The Life. Check out the new music, man. And Laws of the Underground, we have a new album that's coming soon, man.
Really? I'm copping.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm copping.
It's definitely gonna be crazy, for real.
You got $40 between the two of us right here, off game.
Let's get it.
My brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Do It All, and we'll be right back with some more.
It's the hip hop corner. It's the hip hop corner. Coach Fox, Mr. Lewis. Yeah, it's the hip hop. It's the hip hop corner.
Man, yo, that was great.
Yeah.
That was a good time. Do It All is amazing. I mean, I really wish we had more time with him because there's so much more he's into. He's got his nonprofits and everything that he's doing. So we definitely gonna have him back on. You know, we ran a little late, but you know what? That's what we do when we got good people on and we're having a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we truly hope that you enjoy season 4, episode 1 of the Candid Corner. Yeah. We will see you next week, next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel.
Welcome to the Candid Corner. Welcome to the Candid Corner. Welcome to the Candid Corner.
Welcome to the Candid Corner. Your number one spot for hip hop, classic hip hop, today's hip hop. You talk about sports, you talk about Knicks, you talk about 76ers, you talking football, you talking about Giants, you talking Steelers. Your main spot for New York and Pennsylvania sports, baby. Right here. Coach Fa, Mr. Lewis, the Candid Corner. Real talk for real listeners. Yeah. Brought to you by Nap Time Entertainment Media and the good folk over at Off the Ball Network.